Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jordan Campbell here on Inside the Circle. We got something so special for you guys today, right? We're in our new season, our new segment. While our college athletes are back home right now, we have them coming into the facility. Obviously, they're doing their summer training workouts. We had Damani Jackson on episode 8 from Alabama. We're rolling tide right now. We got two the highest recruited players coming out of California going to Alabama for soccer. If you know anything about Winter Circle Athletics, you know that the Brewer sisters came through our program. They were pretty much the first girl soccer players ever to come through our program. Grew up in Riverside, California. Dad, Big Brewer, played professional football. Was a draft pick, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was a draft pick to the NFL, to the Cincinnati Bengals. And he had a plan from day one, right? Same way I had a plan. Certain kids have a plan, and somebody that who's gone through the process before laid out the plan for his daughters, right? And all of his daughters are going to be Division I soccer players. So it's awesome to kind of make a little pivot here. Not only are we talking to our former Prep Academy student athletes, but we're talking to the first female athletes here on the podcast on Inside the Circle to kind of show kind of what it looks like to do something different than the norm, right? They kind of blaze their own trail here at Winter Circle, and they represent the program every single day since they've been in our program. So I would like to introduce the Brewer sisters, right? Go ahead. Introduce yourself.
I'm Breezie Brewer. I am the younger of Cali, but I'm the second oldest.
There you go.
Yeah, and also I'd like to say thank you for having us on your podcast.
Always.
It's an honor to be here, and we love this Winter Circle, so it's super cool to see this in full circle. But my name is Cali Brewer. I'm the oldest of 4 children. Breezy's my sister. We both play at Alabama.
I'll just kind of go there, right? Winter Circle has always been a very family environment, right? And for Winter Circle, one, we're known as a football facility, right? So there's all these stereotypes of like, oh, you guys only train football players, but we put out the top baseball players, basketball, and for you guys, soccer, softball, things like that. What was it for you guys? Here, let's kind of back up. What age did you start the program at, and kind of how did you learn about the program?
I started when I was 12 at the end of my 6th grade year. I think that's when I kind of started to separate myself in soccer. And then my dad's friend, Kyle Turley, was working here at the time, and he heard word about it. And then I remember it was 9 o'clock at night. My dad calls me and he's like, do you want to
We're out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh shoot, I guess. And then that next day I was starting at Winter Circle, left public school and haven't looked back since. So
kind of how was that for you?
Same I think mine was a little scarier just because at the time you guys only had 6th through 8th grade, and I was finished, I was at the end of my 8th grade year, so I was like, oh my gosh, I'd never really heard of girls getting held back. I wasn't sure, and then but I once we came in here and saw it, we were like, yeah, this is where we need to be. We were always super serious about soccer, but I feel like that was one of the first main times I was like, okay, I'm gonna make decisions that reflect my priorities. This is where I need to be. I know I want to be different than everyone else, and this is what it's going to take, and it's exciting.
It's awesome to even hear you guys speak, right? Because obviously you guys started at little kids here, so to hear you guys from 6th grade, 12 and 13, 14 years old to actually having conversations on a podcast, and now it's oh, it sounds like I'm talking to a college recruit, So it's cool to see you guys kind of start when you guys were babies in the program. How was it when you heard about getting held back, right? Was it did you hear about kids getting held back before? Was it anything that was talked about, or was it just just out of the blue, I guess we're going to get held back and get bigger, stronger, faster, and we're going to go and be great?
Yeah, I mean, I personally had never heard of any girls getting held back or anything like that. And then we came here, we didn't know a single person. Obviously, my dad had met you. He knew Kyle Turley, but we didn't know anyone. So that was a terrifying experience in itself.
Sure.
We'd never lifted weights or anything, but and like you guys said, being bigger, stronger, and faster. And so I thought it was super cool for us to buy into that. But I think the process itself was a little scary, but once it started going, I was like, yeah.
And I see boys come through the program after we do a tour, they see it on Instagram. It's this place looks fun.
Yeah.
And they come here and it's I'm why do you look like that? It's it's so intimidating. Yeah. It's I guess if you're kind of a new kid coming to the program, you see all these gorillas walking around.
Yeah.
And as a girl, right, it's even more, how many girls were in the program when you guys started?
I think there was 4 or 5.
Just my sisters and kind of you guys, and who else?
Maddie.
Maddie, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Isn't she went college too?
Yeah, she's at Jacksonville in
Yeah,
Florida.
Jacksonville. That's super cool to see you guys. Um, so as you guys kind of hear about the program, right? Not only do you guys come to this whole new experience, which is a sports training facility / academy for school, then you get thrown on top of that is like, hey, we're holding you back also, right? So kind of just walk us through that process of kind of where you were at when you heard that you're going to come here, and then when you heard that you're going to get held back. Was it a fight? Like a lot of kids go and say, no, I don't want to do this. I want to stay with my friends. Where you guys already geared and tuned a little bit different. Like I don't really care about the friends and the traditional schools because for me, I always had my brother, so we did everything together. So it really didn't matter about anybody else. As long as we're doing it, I'm solid. Yeah. We're in it together.
I think like for Cali and I, like we're like built-in best friends. So like coming from public school, I really didn't care. I was like, I'm already different, like playing soccer, being really good at it. And like getting held back, I was like, just goes to show where my priorities are at. Like I don't need friends right now. Like she was my best friend at the time, so it was like whatever we do it together.
For sure.
So
that's cool to have a wingman as you go through the process.
Yeah.
So when you guys came to the program, were we doing school on the basketball court? Were we across the street, or did we just get this building?
You just had it like the downstairs classrooms. Yeah.
Like crammed in there.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's crazy. So when you guys first came into the program, kind of what were your goals and what were your expectations?
I think the main goals were just to get bigger, stronger, and faster.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'd never lifted weights before. I was a skinny twig.
Sure.
I think I put on like 30 pounds of muscle my first 2 months of being here, which was like insane. But yeah, I don't know. Like
I would say like the same, just getting bigger, stronger, and faster was like the motto of being here, and like buying into that. I just wanted to be the best on the soccer field, so I was like, let's go.
Did we have Mike here since day one with you guys? Who was your first soccer? Oh, it was Lauren, right?
No, it was Boone.
Oh, yeah. So you guys had Boone from the beginning?
Yeah.
So being a soccer player, and I see it in baseball, I see it in basketball, softball, right? They're so caught up in just doing lessons. Mm-hmm. But I tell everybody, if you look at like the basketball players we put out here, you got Carter Bryant, right? McDonald's All-American at Centennial right now. Devin Williams, those type of Braden Burrows, those type of basketball athletes. And I always say what made them special was the bigger, stronger, faster, right? You could get reps and thousands of reps at practice, How did you guys see you separating yourself from all the traditional soccer players that just did lessons but never really trained? Yeah. Right? How did you see that kind of impact your play and how much it helped you guys?
I think like for me when I was getting recruited, like the biggest thing that caught these coaches' eyes were my athleticism, how strong, how fast I am, and then now playing a season in college, their biggest thing for me is still how fast, how strong and I am, and like seeing the girls that just did the lessons or whatever, they're getting pushed off the ball.
Yeah.
And like coming in as a freshman, it's kind of scary. You look a little different, but for me, I feel like I fit right in. Like I was as strong as the seniors, you know what I mean? So I feel like that my foundation of being here was really big. And even back
it up to even when you were here, right? Mm-hmm. How was it? Because all the kids that leave our program and go to high school, we always get a call and it's like, we're teaching these kids how to just put a bar on their back and they're crying like, oh, I need a pad, and then it's like your kids, we had to move them out of the weight room with the freshmen because they were just so strong, right? So did you see the immediate impact on the youth circuit? Like compared to kind of obviously college, right? You start lifting in college, so you guys went in and you were already strong as those girls. Yeah. But how was it even before then? Like when you guys started lifting and training here, did you see like the dominance on the soccer field from little turds out there to...
I think we came in here like mid-year. So at the end of that year, we went to regionals like for our club team. And I think that's when I was like, oh, wow, it's working. I remember like we were blowing past them. Like we wound up winning regionals and nationals that year. And I was just like, oh my God. Like I think you can attest to it too. Like that's when I think we turned the page. Like being here, I was like, wow.
We're bought in.
Yeah.
Like bigger, stronger, faster always sells.
Yeah.
Right? And we say that for like all the other sports. Like there's a combine that you have to run, right? It tells you who you are as an athlete, as your resume, right? Your 40, your shuttle, your vert, broad jump for basketball. They have the NBA combine. Baseball, softball, they have theirs also. But soccer really doesn't have a combine, right? So for you guys, when you guys were transitioning through the program, what were other girls saying when they seen kind of your quads, you know, you guys are developed in shoulder muscles. Were they kind of asking like, hey, are you guys lifting already? Were they kind of knocking what you guys were doing? Kind of where was the love or hate from your peers, you know, because soccer girls weren't getting held back. They weren't going to training facilities to go to school, and they probably weren't lifting.
Yeah. I think we always got made fun of for going to the football school, like we look like football players, but I think they were just jealous at that point. They're getting pushed off the ball. We were.
Yeah.
I think,
And same, and like we would go to practice, and a lot of the girls, that would be their first workout of the day. We had already done like two.
We've been through 3 hours. You guys were eating hot Cheetos and pizza at middle school.
Yeah.
And we're out here training like professional athletes.
Yeah.
And that just takes a lot of confidence for you guys and really trusting the process, because I always say we're not here to train the 99%.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not worried about the losers. I'm worried about the 1% who wants to be great. And I hear it now for the parents that are out there. The basketball players are doing AAU basketball, the baseball, the softball. Just because what they're doing is the norm doesn't mean that there isn't a better way.
Yeah.
Right. And you guys were, and then you had the Humphreys, right? Both Humphrey girls that came here for softball. One went to Oregon. I think both of them at Oregon now, you know.
One's at UCF.
Yeah, one's at UCF and one's at Oregon, right? And it was the same thing for those girls. Like, their dad's a travel ball coach, Corona Angels, high school coach. And it's like, you guys are going to Winter Circle? That's a football school. And it's like, you guys are so naive that you don't even understand what a strength conditioning program is. Because I always tell people, when you go to college, you're going to have a strength conditioning coach, a nutritionist, that works with every single sport. Volleyball, basketball, baseball, soccer, tennis, this. Like, we're your strength and conditioning program here at Winter Circle. We're not your sports-specific coach, right? We could go and have a coach come in and do their sports-specific days, but you come to Winter Circle for the 90% bigger, stronger, faster nutrition, sports mindset, recovery, right? That's kind of how I look at Winter Circles. It's 90% of bigger, stronger, faster, stay healthy nutrition. And then the 10% we do on our sports day, because every sports gets a day of their sports-specific training, right? And we'll have coaches that come in to get the reps and things like that, but it's never to overstep their travel ball coaches or their pitching coach or their basketball coach, because they're with those guys 4 or 5 days a week learning how to do that. But what you do here is what you're not going to get anywhere else, right? So as you guys did our program and you guys are transitioning, were you guys on elite teams already? Were you guys on, like, what was your travel ball level? Were you on top teams, or were you guys kind of working your way up the pyramid?
I feel like we've always been, like, on the top team, so... Yeah.
We played for the SoCal Blues, and, like, I guess it's back in our day now. Like, they were, like, the powerhouse for soccer, and, I mean, it was pretty legit. We played with amazing girls. A lot of our teammates went to, like, high Division I schools.
Yeah.
So that was cool to see.
And the thing is, like, your parents, right, and for the people out there, your parents had a plan for you.
Yeah. Right?
And they never wavered. Right. Same with my parents. You know, I fought my parents getting held back, but I ended up doing it. Best thing I ever did in my life. Right. Your parents had a plan for you guys, and talk about kind of your parents' background, why they had a plan. Like, what'd your mom do?
My mom played Division I soccer. She played for the SoCal Blues growing up.
Yeah.
And then my dad obviously played in the NFL. Like,
Bingo.
Gone through the process himself. So I feel like our whole lives were like, oh, you're going to be great.
Yeah.
And they already knew how we were going to do it. So I feel like
There's
our whole life was about,
planned out.
just buying into it.
Yeah.
And I think, like, coming here was the final, like, page to turn to finally buy in. And I think that's what really took I would say, at least for me, like, my soccer career to the next level was coming here.
For sure.
Because I think, like, my dad, like, he was drafted in the third round. I think it was like 66 overall. And his whole career, he always said he knew about this stuff too late. So his biggest goal was just, like, he's always honing in on focusing on the nutrition, like getting in the weight room, like doing these things that he felt like were a major thing that he missed, which was the coolest part. Like, he's always said, like, we're his do-over. Like, he's not going to let us make the same mistakes he did.
I get chills hearing that, because my thing is, like, if I knew then what I knew now, I wouldn't be sitting here. You know, I'd still be in the NFL. And that's kind of my do-over with Winter Circle, to say, dang, I was good, but there was so much out there that we didn't even have access to, we didn't know about, right? My parents didn't go to college. They didn't know anything about what was going on. So even though they did everything they could possibly do for me to get to where I got, I was still probably 40% peaking, missing that other 60% just because I didn't know. And for your parents, obviously being a Division I soccer player, where did mom play at?
San Jose State, that's where they met.
So they met at both at college?
Yeah.
And to come back and, right, being a football guy like your dad and not have boys, right? To them, obviously you have a brother who's second to youngest, right? For him, he started with 2 girls, right? But he applied all the things that he learned on his journey and your mom and said, hey, we're going to go and really approach the situation the same way. Which is just huge for Papa Brewer and mom to kind of put you guys on that path, because when you're on the circuit for whatever travel sport you're in, doesn't matter what sport it is, you're going to have so many naysayers and people, one, who don't know what it's supposed to look like. And then you have the one person who might know what it looks like, but even that person doesn't know everything, right? And so for you guys, do you guys always felt like you were challenging the system?
Yeah, I think we did.
You're kind of the outliers where it's like, oh, you guys aren't lifting, you're not taking nutrition. Was that kind of like, was it like glorified? Like people were like, wow, you guys are doing something so different? Or was it kind of like, oh, haters like, oh, you don't need protein, you don't need this?
I think a lot of people looked down on it and was like, oh, you're too young, you're taking away from your childhood, you're not going to regular high school, like you're in 6th grade pounding protein shakes, like you're like we're maxing out like on power cleans and stuff. I think a lot of people looked down on it, but it was also the people who were not the 1%. They didn't understand.
1%,
everyone else, but
they're scared of really that grind and fully committing. So as you guys both go transition through the program, so you did your 8th grade holdback year, right? And you moved on to 7th grade?
Yeah.
Did you guys stay with the SoCal Blues, or did you guys were you guys looking at other programs, kind of?
We were always at the SoCal Blues. We were always a top team, so there wasn't really we were being chased as there wasn't a team to chase.
Yeah.
We were just continuing to push the level, I think. So.
That's awesome. And for you, when was your first scholarship offer?
So I got my first scholarship offer in 7th grade right before the rule changed. And so now the rule is you can't be talked to till June 15th going into your junior year. So that was exciting. I felt like I got a little taste of it right before. And if anything, it made me hungrier. I was like, okay. Kind
of gave you a pat on the back, like, hey, you arrived, but, the rule changed. But at least you got like, hey, I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
So when you go through that process and they change the rule so the people out there, right, it happened to all sports.
Yeah.
It got so ridiculous where people were offering 6th graders, 5th graders. So they pushed the rule back to where you really can't get, is it talked to junior year or is it offered junior year?
You can't get talked to at all until your junior year.
Until junior year?
Yeah.
So you go from getting an early offer in 7th grade, right? Then grinding. But I felt like even kind of going through those years, you were still kind of stressed out if you were going to get offered again, right?
Yeah.
What was that worry? Why were you worrying? Was it just kind of naive, not knowing? Was it just kind of just the unknown? Did you think you were good enough and it was going to happen? Or did you think like you were doing something wrong, that it wasn't going to happen?
I feel like I always knew, like Breezy said, like from birth, I think it's really cool our parents' approach. They always knew, like it was always spoken over us that like we're going to go Division I, like we're going to play at the highest level.
That's all you know,
So I knew that. I always believed into it. I bought into it. I don't think there was ever a doubt that I wasn't going to go somewhere. I always thought I was going to go to the top school, and I think as it got a little closer to June 15th, I was starting to get just a little nervous just because you never know. There's always uncertainty, and I didn't know, I never knew exactly where I wanted to go. I think that was like everyone's like, oh, I want to go here, I want to go here. I was like, I don't really know like where I want to go, but like I'll know when it's the right place. So that's why I think Alabama, I knew Alabama was where I was supposed to be. That's it's crazy.
Awesome. It's not that we were getting nervous coming in. It was as in the weight room, you have hard work beats talent when talent starts working
Always.
hard. And we had talent, but you have to continue to work hard. And I feel like you walk in every single day and you see that on the wall, and that was oh, I need to do that every single day. So it wasn't getting nervous. It was just you really
almost anxious.
Yeah.
I want the hard work to pay off, And we always have slogans around the facility. Obviously, it's brainwashing. Like I was at USC, it was win forever, fight on, all these different slogans around the building. For us, it's born to win.
Yeah.
It's we eat, and it's obviously winner circles the name. And then the quote there is what I live by. So for you, once you were getting closer to June 15th, did offers come in immediately June 15th, or did you already start seeing other kids started getting offers? So it's like kind of, I'm better than them. Like, what's happening? Am I not doing something right, or am I doing something wrong? Or once June 15th hit, did you guys already have, or did you have people already reaching out?
Yeah, so I think COVID kind of screwed a lot of things up, just like
so
with
you're COVID baby,
the 20.
huh?
Well, yeah, the 22 class, which was the one right before me, they got screwed pretty bad. But even then, like,
what were you, 23 class?
I was a 23, but I thought they were still kind of fine. Like, they still had it. It happened like a little late, like it happened like March or something.
Yeah.
So June wasn't too far off.
Were you here during COVID when we shut down, or no, you already graduated?
It was the end of my 8th grade.
Yeah, that March, right?
Yeah.
When we all shut down. Okay.
Yeah, and so then I felt like the 23s got screwed the worst. It was just like they had a lot of players coming back, so they were like in college, like they
traffic jam.
Yeah, and so it was a little weird. I felt like, I think all my whole life I was like, you're gonna go whatever school you want to. So to be fully transparent, like, it was a little humbling, honestly. And I think that's where I was like, oh gosh, like I've been working so hard.
I never planned for a global pandemic and the world is shut down and multiple scholarships get just cut in half. I know. Oof.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a little scary. I think I got a couple schools, but it was just not what I thought it would be.
I felt like your first offers, I remember Dad coming in, was like, so-and-so reached out, so-and-so reached out. What were those schools?
Thinking back, let me think.
Was it UCF or no? It was...
No, it wasn't UCF. I think Princeton was a big one.
Yeah, I remember it was a lot of
BYU
private
was
schools
there.
first.
Who else was there? I can't really remember.
And as much as Dad was always confident, right? You guys knew you had talent. You knew you had the potential, right? You guys had a game plan since birth, but no one planned for that kind of little hiccup, right? No one could ever plan for that. So kind of now you're kind of like, whew, like what the heck? What's going on, you know? So the Ivy League schools started reaching out. What was your like first big like major Power 5 or higher major school that offered you? Was it Alabama or was it kind of...
Trying to remember. I don't know why I'm blanking on the names right now, but I think Alabama came a little later into the process. I was like coming on and off, like I had like lingering injuries, so I like was
because you were hurt for a couple of years in a row, right?
I had like lingering things and they were at like crucial, my hip flexors and stuff.
There you go.
But I had crucial injuries during like big showcases, so that caused a little more doubt for me. But I think the coolest thing about Alabama is, like, I always knew I was gonna go somewhere big. Like, I never questioned that. I didn't know when it was gonna come though, and so I didn't hear from Alabama until like November, and like we started getting talked to in June. I didn't hear to anyone until November.
So was this your junior year?
Yeah, still my junior year.
Gotcha.
So I was like, oh crap! Like the whole time, like I just had to like be patient, and I think if anything, that's what it taught me was patience, and that the Lord will always provide when you least expect it.
Timing's everything.
And like it came, like Alabama was the most perfect school. Like it checked off all my boxes. It was everything that I didn't know I needed. And they were the most interested in me.
Where'd you want to go? Was it at SC, UCLA?
I didn't really know exactly where I wanted to go. I always thought like UCLA. I thought it'd be cool, like Cali girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Down there in LA.
Local kid.
Yeah. But I didn't really want to go too far from home. But Alabama, like that's all the way across country.
But I think that's good, right? Yeah. Because a lot of kids stay local, but they never get to grow up.
Yeah.
Because they go right down the street, right? If you're a SoCal kid, your goal is to go to SC, right? UCLA. Yeah. And you guys know probably 20 plus people that went to our program that ended up going to SC. And a lot of them struggle because they stay close, right? They're popular group of people or their fan base of high school kids or whatever kind of just followed them right up the street. They never had a chance to really grow up because mommy and daddy could show up anytime and things like that. Yeah. And I think with how involved your parents were, probably the best thing was for you to go all the way across the country because dad can't be there at practice every day, watching and things like that. So that's super cool to kind of, obviously timing is everything. God has its plan. And so we're in November now, and does Alabama reach out to you after a camp? Was it kind of...
So it was actually super cool. A lot of soccer is like you reaching out, which is a little different than football. Like I know football, they come to you, but soccer, you really have to put in the work and like your emails and go to camps and things like that. And so like we were emailing like every day, like sending hundreds of emails out. And I would always send like my highlight clips, and Alabama, they saw my highlight tape and they like emailed me back like right away. And we were on the phone call like literally that next... or no, they flew on a plane to come see me within like 48 hours, which was crazy. Awesome. And it was like they flew all the way across country. They just beat Clemson, And like it was like kind of they made it to the second round of the NCAAs, which was cool. So they came right from the game, flew to watch me play. They saw me play that day. They like loved me, and then we got on call like that night, and I like it just went so well, and I like went into Breezy's room.
Good, huh?
Yeah, and I was like, Breezy, like
Roll Tide.
I was like, I think I might go to Alabama, and she's like, no way, like you're
never would have thought, right?
Yeah, no. And I was like, I don't know, like I really think so. And then they flew me out in December to like go on an official visit.
You guys are like the ultimate SoCal girls, right? Yeah. Right, blonde hair, SoCal girls seem like Damani. You're the light skinned guy from Southern California. You guys end up in the country,
Yeah.
But I think the audience, they have to understand, we have to back up even more, right? So we go through the program, you get held back, girls don't get held back.
Yeah.
And then you decide to be the first girl or even the first class of kids for Winter Circle Prep Academy. We go 3rd through 8th grade. Then we decided to start high school, My sister did the program with you guys on the softball side. It was Gabby, I think, also, but she was a little bit older for the high school program. And what people have to understand out there is in soccer and basketball and baseball and softball, lacrosse, you don't get your scholarships playing for your high school sport like football. And the reason why that is, in football, it's not a year-round sport. Football, you play in the fall. That's the only time you could get film. That's the only time you could get recruited, which is really based off your fall film playing for your high school, right? And now because of the trend that you guys set however many years ago, now people like Andrew Walters, right, baseball player, went to UCLA, people were opting out of going and playing for their local high school program, whether because the program sucked or they understood that offers don't come through your high school team for those type of sports. It comes through travel, right? So it's almost like the IMG approach where it's like, I need to spend my 8 hours a day training and focusing on academics, right? Versus sitting in class at a regular public school, 50-minute classes, wasting my time around a bunch of losers, right, that aren't on the same page as me. So you decided, instead of going to high school, you decided to pretty much do high school here at Winter Circle, right?
Yeah.
And what was that kind of decision for you? Was it like, dang, I've already been at Winter Circle 2 years. I want to go out there. I want to go to a high school like your sister and go meet the boys and see what's out there? Or was it more kind of, I'm just so locked in and focused, I just don't care about what's going on outside there. I know enough people. I just want to grind.
Yeah, I think it was honestly the easiest decision I ever made. It was just like, I know that I'm different and I want to be different, and like to be different, you can't do what everyone else is doing. So it was just exciting. Like it was kind of a no-brainer. Like, of course I'm going to stay here. Like my schedule is so flexible here. I get to train all the time. I get to get better while everyone else is studying, hanging out with friends, doing whatever they're doing. And we're here and we're focused and we're
no distractions.
Yeah, there's no distractions. That's You're awesome. Around like-minded people. You have people in your corner who want you to win. They're like, there's every resource possible here. Like, there's just people.
You get college experience, 4 years of college training and resources before you even get to college.
Yeah.
Right? So for you, that just shows your maturity, the locked in, you understanding and really understanding the process. And especially the boys we have, right? They're so ready to go to high school because there's not a lot of girls here.
Yeah.
Right? So they can't wait to get out and go. But as soon as they go out there, they get lost that freshman year.
Yeah.
Not a lot of them, some of them navigate through the process well, but it's exciting to get to go to high school, because I know when I got held back, I see what everyone's doing at the high school and homecoming and all these different things. Because you didn't go to high school, a traditional high school, and you stayed here pretty much online school and training, did you get to go and do like prom, homecoming? Did you do those things?
We had the option to. I think we went to like one homecoming, but I was like, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
Like what are...
I didn't go to mine either. I was like, I'm going to SC. Like, we got a game this weekend. I'm going to go up there and hang out with the college guys.
And my dad, he's always said, like, college is where you meet your friends and where you do all these things. Like, high school, you
don't even remember it. Yeah. Everyone's kind of just, they all phase out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. So you did your 4 years online school. You didn't play for any high school team. Mm-hmm. You really focused on being the best player possible. Yeah. So you get into November, they fly out across the country after the Clemson game. They offer you a scholarship. Mm-hmm. And then what was the next step?
The next step, I committed right on my visit. I knew that's where I wanted to be. It's like, when you know, like, it's impossible. For me, it was impossible to go see the school, see all the resources they have. In a lot of the ways, it's like Winter Circle. You have, like, I loved how like the people there were so nice, so genuine.
Great college town.
Such a cute college town. Like it's a beautiful school. Like there's people in your corner who want you to win. It's a SEC school. Like that's where like they have all the resources there. They like I don't know. I feel like from Winter Circle, like you train with the
that, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like it's bigger, stronger, faster. Like that's what the SEC is.
And you're surrounded by the 1%. If you know you're at Bama, everyone's there to win, and the goal is to be a champion.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Yeah, right. Honestly, so now you commit to them. So let's go back to you as she's going through this whole process. You do your 3.5 years with us, right? You're 8th grade. When you were in 8th grade, what grade was she in?
9th.
So she was just 1 year ahead, right? So she decided to do the homeschool program, and you decided you wanted to go to high school, a traditional high school, right?
I did the homeschool program, but I still wanted to.
Because you could still play for the high school,
Yeah, I
right?
could still play for high school. So I decided to do high school soccer for 1 year.
Yeah, so people out there, how it works, right? How we structured our high school program. It's called CBIS. So through the district, you're able to do online classes your 1st through 5th period. And then the one period that you have on campus is usually your sports period, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, they were able to stay here and do Winter Circle Prep Academy, all the training, all the resources. They do their schoolwork online, but then they would be enrolled into, you were at what school?
Centennial.
So she chose to go to Centennial High School, do her one class on campus at Centennial, which is obviously PE period, which is soccer. So she got the IMG college experience with the resources that we have here, but she was able to go and kind of get the high school CIF experience, right? So she was able to go and play a high school CIF sports, right? But also still get the resources like you would be at an IMG, right?
Yeah.
So for you made that decision. You wanted to go to Centennial. Was it because they had a good high school soccer program? Like what made you go to Centennial versus Modern Day or Olu? Because you guys could have went to any school you guys wanted to go to.
Well, for us, we were already playing on the best team, like in clubs.
Was it kind of friends here that were going there?
A lot of like my friends from Winter Circle all went to Centennial, so I was like, okay, like I might as well just go. And it wasn't like that big of a deal. It was more like I was already playing with the best. I was like, okay, it's fun, like, whatever. But it's probably the worst decision.
So when you went there, right? Because you went to a lower level high school for soccer, do you feel like did it hurt your development, or was it kind of like did you get enough out of the 1 year that you were there doing high school and you were like, this really isn't, I'm not missing much?
I think for me, I went in.
Because a lot of people think they're missing something by not going there, right? That's how my sisters were. Like, I at least want to experience high school 1 year. And you go there and it's like, oh, they're smoking weed in class, they're vaping. Like, they have no plan. I feel weird now because I'm thrown back from being the 1% back around 99% of the people who just are going through life with no plan.
Yeah.
I feel like there I was super hated, like in the soccer. Like I was a captain as a freshman. Like it was just it was just unnecessary. Like I didn't need to be hated like that.
Yeah, too much drama.
Yeah, so at that point I was like, okay, this is
because not only are you the best player,
yeah,
right? You show up, you're the captain of the varsity team as a freshman. You know all the cool guys on campus.
Yeah.
Right? You know all the football players, basketball player, baseballs, because you just went to school with them. So Kennedy, my sister, went through that where it's like, all the girls are jealous because I hang around all the boys, but I'm not hanging around with them because I like them.
Yeah.
It's just these are the brothers that I grinded with. So I'm looked at more as, part of the crew versus just some thirsty girl just trying to hang around the football players, you know? And that's when she came back. She was like, yeah, there's nothing there for me. They're just all jealous that, I got held back. And I went to Winter Circle, and all the boys that they like, they know me, and I hang out with them. Yeah. So it's like I'm getting all this unnecessary peer pressure because of that factor. So kind of once you got that, you played your freshman year on varsity soccer. What kind of was like the turning point where it's like, I'm good? Were you getting hurt? Was there just no competition?
There was no competition, and then the coach was getting upset that I was not going to their practice because I was at nationals or I was doing things that like actually mattered instead of like high school soccer. And I think that's when I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. So, we're just on different pages, Yeah. Your high school soccer coach is an English teacher, and I'm working out on a national team with the Olympic coaches. Yeah. And going back to, being part of the 1%, right? I think the biggest thing for Winter Circle is people misunderstand what we do just because they're not on the same page. Yeah. Right, we're literally chasing a completely different process. Whether for them it's like, oh, you're holding back, or you're going to a sports school, or you're opting out of going to a regular high school and doing online school. But it's like you graduate and you're working at 7-Eleven. I'm going out here and I'm playing for a national championship in college and experience the next 4 years of my life. The sacrifice that we make by separating ourselves from the pack, for some people it might not make sense at the time, right? But a couple years later, they'll watch us and go, like, dang, I get what they were doing, and I get why they were on blazing their own trail pretty much.
And I even think, like, for Winter Circle, like, a lot of the things preached at Bama is, like, these 4, like, determine the next 40 of your life. I feel like being at Winter Circle, the last 10 I have been blazing my trail already. So like a lot of these people are making these decisions freshman year of college when I've been making it since 6th grade. So
it's just groomed for this opportunity. And we talked about that with Damani yesterday. We're like, do you feel like if you didn't come to Winter Circle and get held back, like, where would you guys be? What do you think?
I mean, that's an interesting question. I think we've always had an extreme work ethic. Like, we've always been training while everyone else is, like, we'd get home from practice.
Do you think you just would have went to King High School?
We would have gone to King High School. We would have, I don't know. I definitely don't think we would be as successful as we are now.
And for me, I probably would have got to college, but I wouldn't have went to the best school in the country.
Definitely.
You know, it's like, because the work ethic is there. It's just when you surround yourself by a bunch of average people, you just become the norm, right? And for me, starting off at Rubidoux, freshman year, even after getting held back and then transferring to Norco, I always felt like I was ahead of the curve. Just based off that 1 year of getting held back. Right? And it's like, I don't even know where I would have been if I didn't get held back. And like, who knows where my whole life would have been. I wouldn't be here at Winter Circle, right? Definitely would have went to USC, because a lot of my offers came that senior year, technically, when I was supposed to graduate. So for you guys, are you pro getting held back? Are you guys against it? Like, what do you think?
I'm pro getting held back.
I definitely think I'm pro getting held back. I don't think there's really, like, it's completely changed my life. Like, it is definitely the best decision I ever made. Like Breezie said, like Todd, like, he's always said, you have 4 years that will determine the next 40 years of your life. And like, that is something that has really stuck with me, because I'm grinding so hard in these 4 years, even like for high school as well. Like, I'm not here to have fun. I'm not here to do all these things. Like, I'm here to get out. Like, I want to get out. I want to go experience life. Like, I want to be the best, and like, I'm different. Like, I don't want to do what everyone else is doing. And so that has just been so
And there's a lot of stuff that we'll miss out, because I know I missed out on a lot of stuff in high school that guys did. And I looked at the cool kids that I thought were cool back then, like, dang, they're out partying and they're drinking and they're out having fun at Havasu. And it's like, I never got to go to the river over summer because I was doing camps. You know, I wasn't able to go out and party and do all these different things because I was training in the morning. You know, and it's like, at that time when you're a young kid, you look at it as if you're missing something. But now, as you look back at those people who were the cool kids, it's like, I'm so thankful I wasn't doing what you guys were doing. And it's like, now I have the freedom because of the years that I spent doing the whole back program. That set me up for the next 4 years, right? Then the grind through high school set me up for those next 4 years. And I always say, you want to grind during your 20s so you can live good in your 30s, you know? And that's kind of where I was blessed to really, I might have missed a lot when I was going through the high school phase from 13 to 18. But even though I made mistakes, right, we all learn as we go through the process, right? We don't have the answers to everything, but that one decision really changed the whole trajectory of my entire life by getting held back. And not only you guys did it, your sister did it, right? And then Big Red did it. Then you had Brock who did it. So kind of rewinding that a little bit, right? So now you're at Centennial, freshman year, right? She's doing her online schooling, playing travel ball. What was your next step when you decided, okay, public school and kind of this isn't for me? What'd you decide to do? Did you get pulled out, and did you end up going and doing the online school with her?
Yeah. We just did the online school together here. I was already training here, but now I just decided to just completely just cut off all of the high school thing and just really focus on this.
That's awesome. So when did your recruiting process start? Like, were you balling and then you still had to wait for your June 15th date?
Yeah, I played up on her team like the whole time. So it was kind of tough for me because a lot of the girls, they were already committed. And so I was like, oh, I'm already behind. But really, I just couldn't be talked to. And then she got committed, and I was like, oh, God, now I'm really stressed. But I really just still couldn't get, like, talked to or whatever. But mine started June 15th, like, right away. And, yeah, ever since then.
What was your first offer?
Alabama. They
So
called
you
me
already
at, like,
knew,
12:01,
hey,
yeah.
That's awesome.
And I was like, I think I fought Alabama for a long time because we were always Cali and Breezie. And
You wanted your own identity.
I wanted to do my own thing. And then as I went through the process, I was like, I would be stupid not to go.
Yeah.
So, and then I remember I committed before I even took a visit. And I just knew. I was like, you know what, this is where
I get to go with my sister.
Yeah.
I get to play at Alabama. I get to have someone there that I know that I'm safe with, you know, someone that's already experienced a year ahead of me, right? That just sets you up, again, to be more successful because going to college is very scary when you're going by yourself. Yeah, you meet people on recruiting trips and you know people from camps and things like that. But the hardest thing when you do go to college is being comfortable around somebody that really knows you and that you could talk with because it is a freaking grind, right? It's stressful, it's a grind, it's long days, and if you don't have that one person that you could really lean on, right, you'll find yourself homesick and coming home, right? And I see that all the time with kids where it's like they go there and they think they could do it themselves, and it's like, dog, this is your laundry for the first time, you know? You got your own room, you got bills, like, on top of your college schedule. So I think it's awesome that you guys chose to play with each other because that helps, right? You were the one who had to go through it first, but it makes her whole process a lot easier because now she's accepted on the team, right? You keep her away from things that aren't good, you know, and you could kind of eliminate all the distractions. And that's what everything we do is about, is eliminating distractions, being ahead of the curve, having the information and the answers to the test before we take it. So I think it's awesome to see you they did a package deal with you guys. Did you think it was ever going to be a package deal? Were they already kind of prepping you to go there, or was it kind of just like, your sister's good also, we want her? Or
I think it wasn't necessarily like a package deal, but it was like an unspoken rule that we were a package just because like I wouldn't be where I am today if she wasn't here. Like,
for sure.
Just like, I think we had a super unique relationship, like obviously coming here, but also coming here together with just like, she wouldn't let me be better than her. I wouldn't let her be better than me. Like, it was just constant, this competition, which was like a little unhealthy at times, but also one of the, it just pushed us. Like if I'm running a mile, she's going to try to go run 2, but then I find that out and I'm running another one. Like, it's just like, I think cool.
Like, even for Alabama, I kind of made it a big deal to make sure that we were 2 different athletes because I wanted to go somewhere that also wanted me and not just because
for sure I don't want to just go just because of her.
And I think they did a great job of that, like saying like, no, we want you, we don't want Cali and Breezie, we want Breezie and we want Cali. And I think they still do a good job of treating us differently and separately. So I think
do you guys play different positions or
kind of? We're on the back line together, but she's like center, I'm outside. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you now obviously you come in June 15th. They're your first offer at 12:01.
Yeah.
You commit with them before even seeing the school.
Yeah.
What grade are you in now? Is it junior year?
Yeah, I'm still a junior.
Okay, so junior year. Your first year was there last year or 2 years ago?
I've been there 1.5 years now because I graduated early.
Boom. Let's talk about that, right?
Yeah.
So for football players, top athletes are groomed to graduate high school in 3.5 years, right?
Yeah.
Right. They get held back. So let's just say they turn 19 in the fall, whether that's July, August, September, October, November, December. They're 19 in the fall. And if you're a top recruit, you should be on track to leave high school after your fall football season of your senior year, which means you enroll in January to college, right?
Yeah.
So you get a head start for spring ball classes. Right now you're on track to graduate from college early. And I always tell the parents that come through our program, you have to understand it's holding back to move forward, right? The kids that come to our program, yes, we're holding them back in the middle school times, but when they go to high school, right, a lot of our guys, we're securing 100,000 plus in scholarships for football, right? They're going into these private schools testing out of Spanish or health or math classes or things like that. So now they're ahead in high school, right? So they could graduate in 3.5 years. Then they go to college, and now they're a full semester ahead also there. So now they could graduate and get their bachelor's degree and their master's degree throughout their 4 or 5 years while they're in college, right? So it's always holding back to move forward. But for you guys were probably the first girls ever in California, one, to be Division I recruits, right? Two, go to a prep academy, but not even go to your traditional high school, right? You guys really took that academy approach like you would do at a IMG type of program where you did your online school throughout high school. You trained like professional athletes. You graduated early on top of that. So instead of you playing soccer your senior year in the spring, you're already enrolled into college, right? Talk about levels ahead of everybody else. So, of course, you guys don't understand the path that I'm on because you can't even fathom or think about what we're even thinking about because we're so many years ahead of you.
Yeah.
So now you guys graduate in 3.5 years. You don't play any high school CIF games. You're committed to Alabama top soccer program. You leave in January in 3.5 years, just like all of our football players do. Now you're on campus, so it's your first semester on campus in January. How was the culture shock?
I would say it was definitely a culture shock, like going all the way across the country. I knew the team, I'd met them, but I didn't know them like personally necessarily.
Yeah, for sure.
And I knew the coaches, but other than that, I didn't know anyone. I had no family. Like I've always been extremely close with my family. Like just
Was there any Winter Circle kids at Alabama at that time?
No, I was the first one there. And so, but honestly, I think I actually transitioned very well just because the people there were so nice and so kind. And like, I just hit it off with the girls very easily. Like their culture was that was one of the main reasons I went there because it's the team culture and things like that. And so like, I just made like one of my best friends ever, Izzy, and we were like inseparable. And so I think just going there and also being here at Winter Circle prepared me to be there and like so I could have tools to take there.
For sure.
So I think I transitioned very well.
So when you transition there at a lot of colleges, right? You don't get books anymore, right? Was a lot of your stuff online at Alabama or was it traditional going to class or how was that kind of for you?
It was pretty traditional going to class, which was weird for me because I hadn't been to class since like 8th grade. So I was a little nervous, but they had books. They gave us books. Some of them are online. Mine were
Google
like
Classroom. Is it Blackboard? How did you?
It's Blackboard.
So Blackboard?
Yeah.
There you go.
It was different though. I definitely wasn't used to like sitting in a lecture or taking notes, but at Alabama, like they really want you to succeed. They say all the time it's harder to fail than it is to succeed.
Very hard to fail.
So they have tutors there. I think I really took advantage of the tutors of just getting like there's this joke like my team like makes fun of me because I go to tutoring more than anyone on the team, but just because like I care about my school, like I really do. I take pride in that, and like I love to learn, and I like learning, and I like learning how to learn, and so that has been cool for me.
So for you, like for the football team, right, you have to have 10 hours a week of tutoring when you first come in, right? You have your 2 hours a day. That's mandatory. If you miss it, you get in trouble. Is it the same thing for the soccer girls? Do they have their mandatory tutoring?
Yeah, we have a mandatory 6 hours a week.
6 hours a week. So now you're there, you're in college. Were you able to, because when is soccer season for college? Is it spring?
It's the same as football, so it's
so it's the fall
sport. But we had like 6 spring games or so.
So when you came in, you were able to kind of jump right into doing the spring game stuff?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so for you now, right, she does a full year there. You graduate in 3.5 years. You get there January doing the same thing. Were you guys roommates or did you guys go have different roommates first?
I wound up skipping the dorms and I went.
Oh, you damn pulling weight already.
And I went into her house. So we were roommates already.
That's cool.
But there was no struggle in my transition. I thought it was like the easiest thing. I think I've been doing this my whole life and it honestly was so much easier than Winter Circle was ever. So it was super easy for me to transition, I thought. Like from like the school, like most of my classes are online. I've been doing online school like
forever,
for the last 8 years. So
sure.
It was super easy. But.
So when you guys are there now, during the springtime, did a lot of girls come in the spring or was it just kind of you guys were like the only ones that really came in 3.5 years?
I think like her class her class there was only like one or two, and then like girls were like texting me the whole time, oh, are you coming early, you coming early? And then when I decided like, okay, I'm coming early, I think like 4 of them were like, okay,
the
I'm
fun
coming.
girls coming early, we're going.
So like 4 of them came as well, so we kind of had, I think, a bigger class for a spring.
Yeah.
So
they had like 8 girls. My class, there was 4, 3,
there was 6, but...
or there was 3 early enrollees in my class.
There you go. So now you're there. You're both there in the spring. When you guys started the strength conditioning program in the spring, right? I get calls, right, where it's like kids have to learn how to lift and do PVC pipes, power clean, all that stuff, right? They don't know what a weight room looks like. Like you got to Alabama or you got to a big program, I mean, you don't even know how to do technique in the weight room, right? And you see that with like softball athletes, basketball, different sports like that who really don't focus so much on the strength conditioning. They get to college and it's a culture shock, right? So when you guys came in, did they have you with the newbies, or were it's like, oh, you guys understand everything, you guys are ready to go?
For me, like my first day, I was with the newbies, and then
got to
halfway through the workout, they're like, okay, you can go with them. I think
with the
like,
big dogs.
Yeah, like even being there, you can see the girls that never lifted weights before. And like for me, it was just a bigger winner circle. Like the weight room was just bigger.
It's just more weights.
There was just more racks.
More racks, yeah. More racks.
And you can see like the girls that didn't as like for me, it was super easy. And like the girls that didn't lift weights, they're just starting and then they're getting hurt because they're trying to keep up with this pace that I've already been kept up with since 8th grade.
Exactly.
So I think that was huge.
So do you guys do your PRs out there? Because I know like at SC you do like who's the top bench press guy, squat, deadlift, blah blah blah.
How'd
you guys fare when you guys come in?
We didn't max, but like we have like our peak powers and stuff like that. For me, I've been at like the top of all of them, and like
over seniors, everybody.
Yeah, even for like
Would you say you were the number one in the freshman class that came in? Or was there someone stronger than you?
Oh no, I was never
easy, right?
Yeah, by far.
Like, what they have you do? Your deadlift and things like that.
We did like hang cleans.
Okay.
More like soccer specific lifts instead of just like, but yeah. So.
And what about you?
Yeah, same. I think like the first day they obviously put everyone in the freshmen into like a group, and then very quickly he was like, "Kelly, you can get out of there." Like,
get out of here. Yeah.
And I didn't have to go in that group again.
Do you feel like kind of just that alone kind of earned their trust and kind of allowed you to kind of have more success earlier because they kind of trusted that you knew what you were doing? Or did you feel like even though you were strong in the weight room, it didn't really matter on the soccer field?
I think they do a good job of looking at all things as a whole.
For sure.
But I do think that your play matters as well. Like you can be super strong in the weight room, but if you're not producing on the field, then like that's no good. But like they value being fit, and like the beep test is a good test of like how well you prepared to come here. And I think that builds their trust of just coming in fit and controlling what you can control. But
so do you feel like there was any struggles for you guys, right, as you went from our program to high school to college so far?
No.
Pretty smooth process. All the answers were there.
Yeah.
You guys just had to show up and do it.
Yeah.
I feel the same. I think like I was just so surprised at how easy we both transitioned. Like you said, we've been doing it our whole life. That this was just a bigger winner circle. And
Now we're just competing versus the next group of best players. Yeah. So what was the hardest transition in college? Was it the academics? Was it the long days? Was it the practice? Was it the travel? Was it just kind of staying on track and not getting distracted because you're at Alabama with the biggest football games and best players? Kind of, what was your one thing that you would say kind of was a little overwhelming? Or was it just like, I've been around dudes my whole life that were dogs that I know all the 5 stars, you know? Was it just kind of like just simple?
It was simple for me.
That's cool.
Like it's very simple for me as well. There was nothing like even now, like you see girls going out partying, doing those things. Like I still have the same goals. I'm not trying to I'm still trying to be different. Like I don't feel like I made it yet. Like I'm still grinding and doing these things. But I think for me, like I tore my labrum my second spring game there, and so I had surgery last June,
which is always hard to overcome.
Yeah, and I think it was just hard coming being there, getting there early, just working so hard, and then I felt like that game that I got hurt in, that was finally the game where I was like, okay, I belong here, like I'm supposed to be here, and I felt like I was on the verge of a breakthrough, but and then it happens. Just that happened, and I mean it's life, and I think I've been doing the best I can to handle it. I have amazing support systems, but I think that has been challenging just because I'm not back from it fully yet, so I haven't really got the full soccer experience yet, but I think I'm still doing well, and it's the same thing.
So for you guys, what's your best moment or experience being at Alabama? It could be just going to a game, just kind of a recruiting trip. Was it just kind of a moment on the field? What kind of is something that stick out like this is fun? Because I know for mine at USC, it was like, I can't believe I get to do this for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
Like I get to do this for 4 years. Yeah. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Was there ever that moment, or was it kind of, my big thing was Ohio State Coliseum, 100,000 people making a tackle and everyone going crazy. And it's like, this is cool. You know, you're on ESPN.
I think for me, it was starting. Like, my first ever college game, I was the starter, and, like, hearing my name called.
So you started immediately?
Yeah.
Dang.
And I was like, wow, like, this is fun. I want to do this every day.
Yeah.
And then it just made me hungry. I was like, now I got to go.
Are you starting also?
Well, I'm not playing right now. So.
Was it your surgery you're still coming back from?
Yeah,
or?
I'm still coming back from my surgery.
There you go.
But I think the same. Like, I think just going there every day, like, I thought it was so much fun going, and, like, you're around your friends and, like, being a part of a team. Like, we never really had, like, friends, kind of.
Yeah, for sure.
So just to have friends and to be
that are
there.
like-minded.
Yeah, just like-minded, exactly. And just to be there and just see how amazing it is. And, like, I think every day I would step on the field, I was just so grateful to be there. And I was like, this is so much fun. Like, I can't wait to, like, build a legacy here and just, like, continue this. So.
That's super cool, because it's always hard to make friends when you're on a different path.
Yeah.
You know, when you're doing something that you're chasing greatness, you know, you're always kind of the outcast, right? It's like, yeah, everybody might know me and I might know everybody else, but our goals are different and we're separating ourselves from everybody else, you know? So it is cool when you get to that point where it's like, you look around, it's like, dang, I'm around finally for the first time everybody who's kind of working towards the same thing, you know? It's like they're grinding, they want to be great, and you can start opening up. And really, like you said, high school's high school. Really where you meet your true friends are in college, right? And because you're going through the experiences for the first time with them, and you're able to kind of go out there and put yourself out there and just kind of make those lifelong friends, you know? And so many kids at this high school level, they're worried about making friends. And it's like, bro, that's the wrong thing to worry about. Eventually, once you get to that next level, you'll realize kind of who your real friends are, you know?
Yeah.
So for you guys, kind of what's the next step for you guys? What are your goals as you go through your journey at Alabama?
I feel like for me, just continue to be the best. I want to, like, get all the accolades. I want to be a starter, continue just building what my foundation that I have here, just continue to grow, like, get stronger, faster, and yeah,
and I think for me, I've had a little bit of a different experience, so I think it's really had to put things in perspective for me. And so I think now my goal is just to take it one day at a time, and just, like, with my injury, like, I'm really trying to overcome this because I'm still not 100% yet, haven't really got back into soccer. So just to be able to get back on the field and be a starter and just play freely and feel like myself again, like, I think that's my biggest goal, and just to, like, continue to reach people and, like, grow my faith. And, like, I mean, I'd love to be, like, I'm sure she would love to, like, the accolades of, like, freshman of the year, and just to win a national championship is what I think I'm the most excited for with my sister. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And for you, just know, like, when you get injured, right, and you go through adversity for the first time, it breaks people or it makes people. And the kids that I know who's gone through here, like, say, a Damani or a Chuck McDonald when he broke his leg, that going through that adversity allowed them down the road to, one, appreciate the game and what the opportunity is so much, but also go through adversity and realize, you know, kind of how, as you go through that process, how hard you have to work, you know, to get back to where you get. And I always say it's very rare do you have a kid that goes from high school All-American, college All-American, NFL draft pick, or even Olympian, right?
Yeah.
Very rare that you do that, even when you're part of the 1% now. 99% of the people that go through that don't have that luxury of that process.
Yeah.
So everyone's going to have to go through adversity. So even now you might not understand, like, dang, I got hurt. But because of the work you put in and sometimes the refocusing of, okay, it isn't easy. I'm not the best, or I had to go through surgery and things like that. That will make you so much better long term than people who've never had to go through adversity, because to them it's just like, oh, this is always what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
You know, but when you go through that adversity, you have surgery and you come back from it, it allows you to kind of reset, refocus, and it allows you to really appreciate the grind so much more. So when you do have those wins, they mean so much more. So for you going through surgery, it's just that one little hiccup and something that, right, God might have wanted you to experience, right? That's going to help you maybe 3-4 years down the road when you're in the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
And getting hurt sometimes is the best thing for you. Talking with like Damani, like, people look at you like you had the easiest process, but what allows you to go from blowing your knee out, right? Your COVID, miss your junior year, blow your knee out, first play your senior year, missing your freshman year at USC, then becoming a starter, right? The focus that you went through, that transition allowed you to go through adversity before. So when you do go now to Alabama, you've already been through struggle before. You already been through kind of, you could say, rock bottom at that time of that 20-year-old mindset, 21. But that will allow you to not take advantage of opportunities, right? Some guys will be like, I'm having success, I'll go out and have a drink. You know, I'll go and not work hard at practice. I'll come over hungover, or I'll miss a class because, hey, I'm good, right? It kind of gets to their head. Yeah. But when you're able to go through that adversity and fight back through it, that kind of helps athletes long-term success versus kind of that short-term.
Yeah.
So for you, just keep plugging away, right? You'll learn a lot from yourself and from the process that you'll be able to take with you kind of long-term, you know?
Yeah.
So kind of those are your guys' goals there. Do you guys have aspirations? Like, how do you get to the Olympics? Is that something you guys would ever want to do? Like, how do you have to perform in college to kind of get there?
I feel like
because there's pro soccer
I want to
now,
get
right?
Pro, so
would you rather go pro soccer or
making it to like professional first?
How are those steps?
I feel like for college you kind of get noticed. Like you got to
All-American.
Yeah, you kind of got to stand out on your college team, and then getting invited to a national team camp, and then that's kind of.
Do they invite you throughout your college experience?
Yeah.
When they're there, they do like other bigger camps for the best players.
Yeah, it's like U20s, U21s, whatever,
Okay.
And then just making the national team through there, but then. Going professional and playing in the league would be a goal of mine, and then eventually playing in the league, then you get called up to the national team to go to the Olympics.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When's the next Olympics for soccer?
This summer. Yeah.
And then when's the next one after that?
2028.
So 2028, we're in 24, so that'd be what, maybe 1 year after you're done?
Yeah.
Are you going to redshirt this year, or you don't know?
I medically redshirted last season. And
so you still have 4 years left?
Yeah, I still have 4
years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're what? You just played your first season, or you haven't played yet?
Just first.
So this will be her first season, because spring isn't.
So you did your spring so far.
Yeah.
So technically you're graduating 2028. And you can graduate 2028.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good, cool goal right there, right? Finish up, win a national championship, go on and make that next jump. So do you pick for the Olympics, or do they just kind of draft you right after it?
It's kind of like, you just get called up.
That's cool. So what are you going to school for at Alabama?
I'm a business degree.
Okay.
So.
I'm a sport management major.
There you go. So what do you guys want to do with your degree? What do you guys see after, when the ball's dropped?
For me, I wanted to do something in the sport world. I can kind of branch off to anything with my degree. I kind of want to go into like a sport broadcaster, like something around that. I think would be super cool. Or
Cover
maybe
soccer games?
Yeah.
Who's the big person doing it now?
I would say like Julie Foudy.
She's doing it for soccer? Awesome.
Yeah. And for me, like my dad, he has CTE from playing at the NFL, and it's always been like a goal of like mine and my family's, of just like my mom, she's had this dream of just like starting a foundation for the children of the NFL players with CTE. And I think because like I just feel like it's not talked about enough.
Trust me, yeah.
And and it's real. Like I've seen it, and
we all struggle with it. And people don't get it. Like we struggle with depression, anxiety. You have headaches. You have those things, and you don't get it how much you put your body through it until you get a little bit older. And it's like, damn, like I got a kid now. And it's like, that's always a tough thing for football players. And obviously your dad went through that as well. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys, that's the goal after. if you guys could tell, young female athletes out there now, because again, you guys blazed your whole trail. You guys really set the blueprint and the standards. So many people do it one way. You guys went against the grain and got to where you guys got. So you guys are for getting held back, right? And when they look at Winter Circle, kind of the peer pressure you guys went through, and people say, well, that's a football facility, right? What would you say to those people? Is it not a football facility? It's just about bigger, stronger, faster, kind of surround yourself by the right people. Kind of what would your message to be to the next soccer girl or softball girl who wants to come to Winter Circle, but they kind of get the peer pressure from people saying like, well, that's a football facility. How do you educate them on that?
I would say don't be afraid to be different. I think it's a beautiful thing. Like you said, you have these 4 years that will determine the next 40 years of your life. And I promise, like, you're not missing anything, like not going to high school. If anything, you're launching yourself forward. And I think just trust the process. It's really a process. Enjoy the process.
Is, yeah.
And yeah, like you'll meet some of your like amazing lifelong friends here. You build amazing relationships. And I think the coolest thing is just being surrounded like-minded people that want you to win. And yeah.
I think Winter Circle is not a football facility. I'll say that. I think it's a facility to build athletes. It's for winners only. I will say that.
Amen.
And I think like coming to Winter Circle is going to be the best decision in your life. You will never regret it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many girls are here, how many boys are here.
Yeah, I've been here when there's been 4 girls and when there's been like 15. So I think being different is what's going to set you apart. And also like you meet so many amazing people. I'm still friends with all the boys that I went to prep school with, and you just appreciate the relationships you make here, and it really goes.
And I always hear the kids say like the best time of my life was at Winter Circle, right?
Yeah, it really was.
100%. Like we don't realize how good we have it until it's gone, and like you said, like it was genuinely some of the best years of my life. Yeah. And like I wouldn't be the same person I am without it. I'm so grateful to be a part of it. Yeah. And it's just exciting.
It's cool alumni.
Yeah.
So when you guys were obviously at Alabama and you guys had a couple Winter Circle kids pop up, kind of, was it just like, oh, hi, Woodyard, or hey, Damani, like, how'd that go?
I think we've all been friends. Like, I've stayed
just
friends
always
with them
stayed,
throughout. So, yeah.
It's just like a different bond. Like, you have a different bond.
You like appreciate each other.
Awesome. We knew each other when we were pimply little kids getting yelled at. And
rolling for not wearing polos.
Right? That's awesome.
But,
that's super cool.
It's just family.
Getting held back didn't affect your career, right? Not going to a traditional high school and separating yourself from the pack didn't really mess up anything for you guys. Kind of set you up for the next level. Lifting weights really didn't do anything but help you guys, right? Doing online schooling, right? You guys were prepared to do that in high school and college now. So pretty much the process and trusting the process, it really worked.
Yeah.
100%.
That's awesome. And I appreciate you guys so much because you guys came in here, you bought into the process, you guys just worked your guys' butts off. You guys signed here for when it was time to sign to college. You guys come back every off season. So it's really cool to see the female athletes out there, have you guys be spokespersons to them, because so many people put pressure on these young girls, like, don't go do this, or don't lift early, or don't get held back, or don't do this. You have to play for high school. And I always say it's such misleading information, right? So to have girls that came through the program and represent the program at the highest level is amazing, And I think your guys' testimony, your guys' story will change a lot of people's lives, right, if they really buy into the process. And I understand how hard it is when you're 13, 14 years old to kind of make big girl decisions on your own and separate yourself from the being cool or being the cool club and things like that. But you guys were never worried about that, which puts you guys in the 1%, right? It's for winners only. It's not for everybody. And I'm excited to see kind of this next 4 years of your guys' life as you guys go through this whole thing and continue to blaze your own trail.
And we just want to thank you for like everything that you've done for us. I think Winter Circle was such a huge part of my life, and going into college and seeing it's just like a whole new level that I have on these people is from Winter Circle, and even like having this relationship with you, having the relationship with all of these boys that I've met over these, they're just like lifelong, and like my life was forever changed from Winter Circle for the better.
That's awesome. Thank
and
you.
Same, like I just wanted to thank you for one, like having this vision and actually acting upon it, and like you said, you've changed not just our lives but hundreds of people's lives, and like it's just so amazing to have this facility and have these resources and have like you in our corner who care for us and like just making it happen, and like we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for you. So like genuinely thank you.
Appreciate you, girl. You guys are awesome. We're here, was it 8, 9? Episode 9. They blazed their own trail at Winter Circle, right? They were the first girls coming through the program, first girls to do high school with us, first Division I soccer girls in our program. Now they're the first girls on our podcast, right? So it's awesome to have the Brewers continue to do it. Papa Brewer, Mama Brewer, great job with them. Great vision, way to execute the game plan. Proud of you guys, excited for your family. People out there, make sure you guys like, you guys subscribe, you comment. We're bringing all of our college athletes back here, just kind of give you guys a different perspective of inside the circle and what it really looks like.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Roll Tide.